everyone, to another edition of Brownsville As Is with
A for Achana.
S for Sonia. We are in a little community called Scotts Hill, and we are at the Doe Creek School.
Yes. From what we understand, this school originated as early as 1870. And there was at least one schoolmaster that we're most familiar with now, who taught here for at least 4 decades, with the last class ending in 1949.
And it started as a church, so they would meet for church on Sunday and have school during the week. So it was a one-room school.
That's right.
Grades 1 through 8 would have attended here. A log structure, obviously. Kind of a recent restoration project. They started mid-2000s, 2006. But we'll learn more about that in a little bit.
Yeah, why don't we go inside and speak with Mr. Joe White and some other locals who would like to share their story about Doe Creek School.
Sounds good.
Y'all come on.
There was 2 settlers from North Carolina that was brothers that came here, and I guess they had land grants, I'm not sure. One of them was Robert Kennedy. He lived this direction from here on the next ridge over there. In fact, it's on a farm that my mother and dad owned, was where he lived. And then he had an older brother named Hugh that lived this direction. And I'm pretty sure their farms joined. During the Civil War, Robert Kennedy, all of his sons and son-in-laws fought for the South. And Hugh Kennedy, I think all of his but one fought for the North. This was a time of no law, and there was a lot of guerrilla warfare went on. And one of Robert Kennedy's sons, James David, and his brother-in-law, Bill Nails, they got involved in this guerrilla type of warfare. In other words, one side would make a raid and then the other side would make a raid, and I don't know, somebody got shot. And the Union people that lived around here formed a posse hunting Nails and Kennedy. And they found them hiding in a barn right down on the hill here. The barn belonged to James David Kennedy's brother. Anyway, they captured them, and they wanted to get them kind of out of this area here, and they carried them, I don't know, about 3 miles this direction over there, and hung them. And then when Robert Kennedy found out, what had happened, he went and retrieved the bodies in an ox cart and brought them back and prepared them for burial, and they buried him in a cemetery out here on the far end. That's the first 2 people that was buried here. Well, they built this church shortly after the cemetery was formed, and it was a Baptist church at that time. Came time, to try to educate the children. They didn't have no buildings or nothing, for school, so they used this church. And there's some pictures on the wall over here of a couple of classes. In fact, my siblings are in that picture, and then Elmer Duck's got some children in that picture there too. Elmer Duck, he taught here longer than anyone else. He was teaching here when the place closed. What he paid for his first teaching certificate, 50 cents. He took his teaching seriously. He was born in 1878. He taught various places before he taught here. But he bought a farm up here, and I guess that's probably when he become a permanent fixture to this area, and started teaching all the time. I guess it's probably 2006 or something, and they disassembled this building, marked each log, laid them out there, and then we replaced them on the rotten ones, and then they put it back together. Back pictures here of the old building in various stages, you know, before it was repaired. There's right after it was repaired.
We looked over here and saw this old building, and it was in a deplorable condition, you know, and just a good storm would have blowed it down probably. You wouldn't believe the people that showed up here whenever we told that we were fixing to do this, that wanted to help, donate, use their equipment, whatever, you know. But you can see 2 or 3 pictures on the wall. Steve McDaniel, a couple of judges, their connections here, their roots came from here, and they helped out a lot. We're really proud of it, and we try to keep it going, you know. It's you know, once you build something this way, you've got to keep maintaining it. Well, first of all, we've got it on the National Register. It took some doing to do that, you know. You don't just go up there, and you've got to have documents where it is historical and all. And you can see that we're on the Civil War trails. In October, we have a little thing here where we have a school, how school was in the very beginning when it started, and they can come here in October and see that. And we have just a big, it's mostly family and people that are interested in historical things.
But when we have one of these programs here, our annual program we have, probably 200 people come to it. We built that pavilion about it, I don't know, a year or 2 after we got this.
2009 built it.
Got this building completed, and our first program was held under a shade tree out there.
But our biggest fundraiser now is that fish fry in September. Mr. Danny Easton here, he furnishes the fish from the Tennessee River, and families all come together and donate our time, and we've had a big outpouring of people support.
The community here really did come together, you know, and help put this thing together, along with a pavilion out there. And everybody, the whole community, during our fish fry in September, they like to come over here. We have had as many as 250 people to show up for that fish fry that we try to put on. And we just appreciate everybody's support.
My name's Austin. I live in Scottsdale. My grandfather his name was Carl White, and he attended school here.
And this one story is about this girl. She wanted to get a drink of water, so she walked over to the water bucket, pulled out the ladle because they didn't have, stuff you could refill your water with. And she ended up finding a frog in it. So she screamed and ran. And that's the story.
I can tell you a little more about Carl. He was my older brother. Anyway, he was over here every day when this place was under construction. He loved this place.
People are welcome to come here and have weddings. We have the pavilion, you can have picnics, family get-togethers, you know, or it's open for anybody to use, you know.
Yeah, no charges, just, you know, kind of clean up after yourself. And we've had, 2 or 3 church programs here too. Your church
We
came.
did, yeah. And schools like to come and bring the smaller children for a history lesson here, and kind of like having a picnic, you know.
That's what I was too going to mention. I work for the Henderson County School System, and they bring the kids here, may it be the younger classes or the older classes, and even the high school students. So lots of history right here in this area. Very important.
Well, Sonia, what do you think?
This is lots of very interesting history here. It was so much fun to listen to Mr. Joe and the other guys talk about the passion that they had for this project.
Yeah, that's a good word, passion. You could see it in their eyes when they spoke of the heritage and the history that lies within the Doe Creek community. You could really sense that from every one of them. Even the grandchildren of Carl White, you could tell they wanted to share their stories.
Yes, rightfully so. They should be proud because there's a lot of this history. These old schools are going away. They're falling into disrepair. There's probably can count on one hand how many are left in the area.
That's right.
So it's nice to have places like this to come back to.
Yeah. It's been a good day.
It has been a great day.
Can you imagine a schoolmaster, though, for more than 40 years? Can you?
He must have had lots of patience.
In one room. Oh, well. Here's until next time.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.